So it's been a while since I have sat in front of this camera and recorded a video. And I guess today's video, or this video, if I ever publish it, will be a little bit different to the videos that I have recorded before. I just want to give a little rundown on why I have been absent for quite a while. And in doing so, I hope that perhaps some of the things that I have encountered and the things that I have gone through will help other people who may be going through something similar. So 2020 has been a crap year for many people. And even before the virus started, or before we were all affected by the virus, there was just this weird energy. It just seemed like the new year, 2020, there was something a bit off about 2020. A lot of us were feeling that something just didn't feel right. And then the virus hit and the world went to shit. So as a life coach, I should have been able to deal with the issues that I was facing, but I didn't. And for a while, that led me to feel quite ashamed and guilty. I felt as though I was a fraud. How could I help other people when it was clear to me and to the people around me that were supporting me that I was finding it so hard to help myself? So let's go back to the start of when my life started to unravel, and this started to happen in December of last year. So it was just before Christmas, and I was given some news that I found quite hard to deal with, and I couldn't quite understand why I was finding it so hard. But instead of dealing with it, instead of using the grown-up, responsible me, I decided to bury my head in the sand and distract myself with Christmas and with work and with other things. And unfortunately, when we react to emotional traumas, when we react to them emotionally, we start to lose control of our emotions. And things tend to snowball out of control quite rapidly. For some of us, it can be a slow burn over a period of time. It could take weeks, it could take months, it could take years before things come to a head, before we realize that actually we're stuck in this awful situation and we need to do something about it. But for me, it happened quite quickly over the course of three, 4 months. And because I had consciously chosen not to deal with this issue, I found other issues creeping in, which made the original issue seem even bigger. And I found myself just feeling as though I was drowning under this massive sea of emotions. So what did I do? I reverted back to type. So I reverted back to the old me, or the part of me before all my mental health training, before all of my life coach training. I went back to self-medicating myself through different ways. So rather than take control and take the responsible and adult approach of being proactive with the emotions and all of these issues that were going on, I further distracted myself and began self-medicating. And for me, self-medicating came in the form of working far too much, doing too much, having too much, filling my life with too much excess, with too much responsibility, with too much commitment, because that was a way of taking my mind off what was really going on, all these different issues that had been going on. I was finding that I was being more socially active. I was spending time with people that perhaps I shouldn't have been spending time with. Sex, overworking can be a good way of distracting oneself from everything that is going on. So finally, things got to a really low point, and I had to seek the support of professional help. And the one thing that stands out to me, the one thing that really helped above everything else, was talking. So just talking to a professional led me then to start talking to friends, only a few friends to begin with, and then to my mum. And all of these people had such a massive impact on me. They were able to see all of my problems from a different perspective. They were able to see it from an outsider's perspective and help me to start clawing back some clarity and build a bigger picture of the things that were actually going on. It's true for me, and I think it's true for most people, especially the clients that I speak to, that sometimes, most of the time, when we're dealing with some really massive issues, they seem too big to be able to deal with. They seem mountainous. How are we going to climb this mountain and get to the other side? But by talking to friends, by talking to professionals, I was able to make that journey over the mountain bit by bit, step by step. And every step that I took, I was gaining more clarity, I was gaining more control over the situation. Another thing that really helped was building an awareness, becoming aware of the emotions that I was experiencing, why I was feeling those emotions, what was I scared of, why was I feeling ashamed, why was I feeling guilty, what was propelling me to sleep with a certain person, what need was that fulfilling in my life at that time. Now, these are things that I teach, or these are things that I talk about during life coaching sessions. But for some reason, when I was going through all of these different massive life events that had happened to me, I was unable to access the inner life coach. And the reason why I was unable to access that grown-up, responsible part of me was because I didn't want to be responsible or grown up. I wanted to forget about all of these issues. I wanted to wish them all away. But we can't run away from ourselves. At one point, things got so desperate that I felt that was the only option. But as I sit here now, I am so glad, I am so grateful, and I am over brimming with gratitude for the kindness of the people that helped me through. And I'm really proud of the decisions that I have made in my life recently. If there is a point to this video, it is that no matter how bad things get, no matter how hard life is, things will get better. So if you are going through a horrendous time, maybe it's through coronavirus, maybe it's through other issues, or perhaps like myself, you're going through a multitude of different issues, and then you've got coronavirus on top of that to deal with. So if you are going through something awful, just remember, first of all, talk to someone. Talk to someone who is going to be non-judgmental, who is just going to listen. You just want someone to sit there and listen to what you have to say. You'll then start seeing things from a different perspective. Start building your own clarity over the issues and what you can do about those by being aware of why you're being triggered, what are the emotions that you're feeling, and get rid of guilt, get rid of shame. Guilt and shame are negative energies that you don't need, and you're probably in a place like I was where everything just feels negative anyway. You want to start letting the positive energy coming in, and you do that by sharing with other people, building awareness, and starting to get a clarity and seeing your own issues from another perspective. And it's also worth remembering that it's okay to feel shit. It's okay to have a bit of a wallow in self misery. Looking back, I would like to have spent less time feeling sorry for myself. But I think that's all part of the natural grieving process, or the process that you go through when you are dealing with these massive life events. I can remember at one point telling myself, look, this is stupid. Everything that you're doing to yourself, you're just making everything worse. Why can't you reframe your experiences? Try to find the positive. And I was telling myself to shut the fuck up. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to reframe my experiences. I didn't want to feel better. I just wanted to carry on the way I was, because that way was the only way that I knew not to deal with the issues that were going on. I didn't want to face up to certain things. And it's only until we face up to them and start dealing with them that we can then start taking back control over our lives. We can either let our emotions and external events control us, or we can control our emotions and our external events. So it's taken 2 months to really go through this process of recovery and finding myself on the other side of the mountain. For some people, it can take longer. For some people, it's a shorter amount of time. But we all get there if we follow the same path. If you are going through anything at the moment, I hope that you find some inspiration or you find some use from this video. If you know someone else who is going through something, just be there for them. Just listen to them. Don't judge them. Just hear what they have to say and offer your own unique perspective. Thank you for watching. I hope this video helps in some way. Remember, be kind to others and be kind to yourself.